I've been explaining how a horrible child traffic, kitty porn, dead child traffic, sex torture, snuff ring is being run under the streets of LA County and under many houses and in apartment buildings and under drugstores and market parking lots and rooms that were built. My readings explain this every day for a very long time, and I continually report to stop the crimes with my medium prophet channeling ability. My readings say that many work against me and do fraud profiles so people won't believe the tips are right. And that's why I'm explaining over and over the truth and facts about myself, so they will know that I'm a very over-honest person and who's very spiritual, and how I advanced my psychic ability to stop sex slavery internationally. So I want to explain how I started doing these Stop Sex Slavery medium channeling crime tips. So I am clairvoyant and have accurate psychic premonition dreams since I was a kid. I dream of crimes while they're happening when I'm asleep, as I have remote viewing capability. I also report these tips that I get when I'm asleep and with clairvoyant visions. I got sober in Alcoholics Anonymous in 1985 and started living a very spiritual life at age 25. I started working the 12-step program to be a very good person, to be very honest and sincere, to not harm anybody, and I work a diligent 12-step spiritual program for over 40 years. And that started in 1985 in Alcoholics Anonymous. And then I went to Codependence Anonymous in 1988, where you learn to have self-esteem and be confident and to say positive affirmations. And I went to ACA at the same time for a year, healed my inner child. And that's where you learn to nurture yourself, be nice to yourself, and love yourself, and all those things. And I started going to Al-Anon in 1997, and I worked the 12-step spiritual programs in my life, and that is to not harm anybody, to not talk bad about people, to be sincere, to wish for others what you wish for yourself, to not harm anybody, I say again, and that is my personality. I am very sincere and sentimental and nice and honest, and that is how I've lived my life for over 40 years, working a spiritual 12-step program out in the world. And we had a life in the suburbs, and I already had my spiritual foundation before I had my children in 91 and 95. We moved to the suburbs in 97, and everything always just ran like clockwork, and I just felt grateful to be in the suburbs, to have my wonderful family life, and didn't brag to people. I treat people equally, and I'm down to earth, and never brag. Now, since I've been targeted and trying to convince the world of the crime tips, I had to tell everybody my background, which normally I did not. And due to what was done with stalking and vandalism and lying and catnapping, car break-in, theft, and you name it, devils swarming around 4 years, 05 to 09. Then I was slandered and set up to DCFS. Last parent on earth who would ever be a DCFS case file is me. I'm a expert in parenting, over patient, over calm, over nice, never hit or spanked, rarely raised my voice, and I could teach the parenting class. I studied parenting books, and I learned a lot healing my own inner child, going to workshops and meetings and conventions and listening to tapes and speakers, and lots years of work, inventories and God box notes and praying and you name it. And every night in my prayers I said, today I was the best person I could be. Today I was the best mom I could be. Thank you, God. Amen. And here my whole life was to be a good person and a good parent, and to provide well, which I did as a real estate agent, as I was a realtor from 99 to 2009 in the suburbs, before I was set up and taken down and framed outright to be a not needed case file in '09. So when this happened, I said, oh my God, I think the stalkers who stalked our house lied about me and they're after my kids. I said, oh my God, I bet they frame people to be a not needed case file to take people through the government system so they're not reported missing. That is what I thought when I was lied about to DCFS by somebody and by anonymous individuals. After 4 years of vandalism, stalking, catnapping, car breaking, theft had gone on. I was stalked on the street also. I was stalked by a black Cadillac with tinted windows when I drove my daughter to high school. And he felt like the devil stalking. I thought, oh my God, he's trying to murder us. That is what I really thought. And I thought, they are trying to kill us. Why else did they do all of this? And swarming around and catnapping and stalking and lying and vandalism and car break and theft that I've repeated a million times over. As I felt that eerie feeling like the Satan devil and the black Cadillac tinted windows was stalking us to murder us. And when I was framed to DCFS, I thought, oh my God, they're after my kids. It's probably a kiddie porn ring or something. A bunch of rapists. That is what I really thought, because I have 2 beautiful daughters. When I was lied about to DCFS in '09, they were 14 and 17. So that is what any mom would think. After 2 cats went missing, the mailbox was smashed twice. The mailbox was stalked by cars, stalked on the street, property stolen by a car break-in theft, clothes went missing from the house of mine, and I saw a locksmith truck on the street. As I have detective thinking my whole life. And my mom always said to me, since I was a child, you're like a detective. She said it all the time. And friends during my life called me Nancy Drew, Inspector Gadget, and many I was close to in my life, they knew I think like a detective, which I do. I'm also a screenplay writer and good at piecing things together due to having worked in the movie business 17 years and being a past costume designer and a screenplay writer who studied characters, and which I did as a costume designer. So I am one who can read people like a book, see right through them. I have good insight, and I'm not a dumb idiot. People swarming around, they're after something, aren't they? And anyway, so I started doing my Stop Sex Slavery Internationally medium channeling tips because I was scared to death. They were trying to murder us, and that they were after my kids. And that's how I figured out they run child traffic, kiddie porn, snuff movies through a secret court. And I worked day and night rather, to figure this out by writing and writing and writing and writing and writing and posting on my WordPresses since fall 2012, publishing articles on Before It's News since 2021. I faxed my tips I wrote by hand in '09 to stop traffic offices all over the world. I started typing them and emailing them out anonymously in early 2010. Then I started posting on WordPress fall 2012. And that is what I do every day, day in and day out. I report my medium tips to stop child traffic, kiddie porn, and snuff movies run through a secret court where they frame parents to be not needed case files to take their children to rape and kill them. And I do the tips in and out, day in and out, I keep saying, and I'm a very sincere, honest, level-headed, normal person. I am very normal, reporting insane criminals who molest babies and children. Okay, that I am normal, they are insane. So people need to know this, that I'm the most regimented, level-headed, normal person on earth, and that is a fact. And my readings say they slander me, so people won't believe the tips are accurate, which they should. As I worked very hard at advancing my spirituality, starting in 1985, when I got sober in AA at age 25. And I started studying books at 18 when I was drinking also. And I read books like Creative Visualization and Positive Affirmations. I listened to Louise Hay's tapes, and read James Von Prahn's book and Shirley MacLaine's book about spirit guides. And I was doing all of this work from 18 to 30 because I wanted to for myself. I did this work to enhance my own intuition for my own life. And that's what I enjoyed doing in my off time. When I worked on movies, I would do I Ching, The Ruins, my own tarot card readings, listen to a spiritual meditation tape, and read books. And that was like a hobby. That was my interest. That's what I did. Other people might have been reading romance novels or something. I was reading a book a psychic wrote. I was reading Creative Visualization and to learn how to visualize what you want to create in your life. And that's how I live my life, as a spiritual person. And so, anyway, I did about 12 years of psychic studying for myself, for my life, to enhance my intuition and to feel spiritual and connected to God and Jesus Christ. I got connected to doing all this work. Although I prayed to Jesus every night, I said the Lord's Prayer as a child, but mostly I always prayed to God, and day and night turned everything over to God, and God's in charge of results. And I learned to align my will with God's will, and I read that book, The Right Use of God's Will, and I bought that, the Psychic Eye Bookshop, in probably 1987, and I ended up working there as a psychic medium channeling reader 2010 to 2012 for 2 years. I also worked for another psychic company as an on-call reader, an online psychic reader company, for 7 years. And I've been a psychic medium reader for 16 years for customers. And I do readings under my Medium for God Prophet channel writing business. I started in '09 in Sherman Oaks, California, after gang stalkers ran us out of house and home and ruined my 10-year real estate business I built up in the suburbs in '09 when I was slandered and set up to DCFS by lies. After 4 years of gang stalking, crimes had gone on I ended up in Sherman Oaks where I grew up and started my Medium for God channel writer business. And said, well, I guess I'm put on this path for a reason, so this is what I'm doing now. And that's what I've done since. So I've done my Medium for God channeling work for almost 17 years, day in and day out, to explain how sex slavery is run internationally. I decided in '09 I am using my gift to its fullest until sex slavery is stopped completely all over the world. And that's what I decided as a scared to death mother, as I thought the liars were after my daughters. And that's how I started cracking the case of how human trafficking is run through a secret courthouse by framing nice parents to be not needed case files. And I've reported day in and day out, as I've said, for 17 years. Posted the stories of facts all over the internet with our family photos and decided I'm going to make myself public so we can't go missing. I thought if we're very public, we can't go missing. That's what I decided. Also, I decided that in 2010. I'm making everything very public, then we can't be missing. So I post a lot of photos on my Facebooks. I have 4 Facebooks, and a lot of fact stories. And so everybody knows who we are, so we can't be missing. That's how they run traffic, is through a secret court by framing nice parents and by lies told secretly in secret reports, the readings say. And readings say many slander me because they don't want anybody to know the tips are accurate, that I channel right by God and Jesus Christ, when they're always accurate. And reading says they lie. Oh, she's just saying all that stuff to get free pay, when I'm working night and day to stop murders, and I am trying to get money to stop traffic. Okay. And so they're stealing it all because they are doing the traffic through a secret court, because they are molesters, and they are sex addicts, and they are meth, heroin, needle user, junkie, drug addicts. And they are controlled by drugs, murdering babies and children to get shot up with drugs. And that's part of their secret system, and how this horrific murder crime is being is being run. So I just want to explain. I'm very honest, very nice, very good, very sincere, sentimental, honest and true, and what I say is a fact. What I say about my background and my fact posts and published articles and emails, resumes, so on, it is a fact. I have explained how I was set up to DCFS for 17 years. And that is a work I do. I do fact work. At the same time, I do my prophet work. And I do prophet readings on things that went on to see what was done and piece them together. I spend a lot of time sending my petition out to shut down Child Protective Services and open Child Protective Centers. That is so caseworkers cannot whisk away babies and children to molest and kill them in kiddie porn and snuff films, to put them in a cage under a house, to molest them on a bed, to throw them in a pit under a yard, and to traffic children 10 and over, my readings say. So I've written a petition, stop or shut down Child Protective Services, open Child Protective Centers. So that would mean if a parent was really dangerous, or if there's just a problem in a household with a family, the children or teens or baby could go to the Child Protective Center with teachers, daycare workers, and until the problem is solved. Then they just say, what is the problem? Dad's drinking and driving. Okay, Dad will go to rehab, detox, sober living, year of sobriety, comes home. Dad goes to rehab, the child comes home. There is no court case file. There is no caseworkers complicating things and taking the kid into foster care or adopt them. And readings say they adopt children and babies, and really they take them for their kiddie porn cast. They are not really adopted. That is why I came up with the idea to have a center so babies and children can't be molested, taken to kiddie porn, murdered, and everything else. And they traffic the whole family. Teenagers, they keep for trafficking to make money on them, keep them in a pit under a backyard. They traffic attractive mothers, and they traffic them at age 10 and over. And the ones under 10, they put in a cage for kiddie porn movies. Now, I have done the tips day in and day out, and I really write for God and Jesus Christ. I write for famous people who died, movie stars and musicians, and passed on White House presidents. I've written for the United States of American presidents since 2009. They explained in '09, writing for them, that a sex slavery ring is run by men and women who pretend they're investigating. I got that tip in '09. I wrote by Lady Diana of Wales in '09, who said they robbed parents, forced them into the welfare system to adopt their kids, to take them to sex slavery. Same tips. Same tips for 17 years. And people should listen, okay? Because Princess Diana wrote what Richard Nixon and John F. Kennedy wrote, and Abraham Lincoln and George Washington wrote, and God wrote, and Jesus wrote, and Virgin Mary wrote, and my dad wrote, and everyone wrote. I have 800 spirit guides, and they all write the same crime tips. Does that not mean they're accurate? Yes. So people need to wake up and listen, as they are trying to save a lot of babies and children from heaven's realm. Because angels, God and Jesus, and famous people who died, they flock around to see who's molesting who, what baby they're trying to take, who did they grab at a park and throw at a van and shoot up with a speedball to whisk to their apartment to molest and murder them. Who did they fling in a room under a lawn around a park to human traffic them? Okay? The angels know everything. They are watching. They are reporting through my hands and mouth. So human beings will know what they do not see happening. And that is why I have the gift of being a medium, prophet, channel, writer, and speaker. And that's a fact. And I use my gift to its fullest to get it stopped. And I want to say this began 21 years ago. I had a dream in the middle of the night about my next door neighbor from Ranchito Avenue, Sherman Oaks, who died. She touched me by the light in the middle of the night and said she'd protect my girls and I from heaven. And I woke up very worried, of course, wondering, what do we need protecting from? And I said, I guess she's our guardian angel. And then she contacted an angel board reader on her angel board in our suburb area, who was an acquaintance of mine, and she kept spelling out, I have to speak to Nancy Fox. And she spelled it out all the time and interrupted her readings. And so I bumped into her 3 times, no coincidence at all. And every time she said, you have to come and do a reading. The lady, who died keeps interrupting me on my angel board. So I went and did the reading February '05, and I was told, Nancy Fox, you're put on earth to save the human race. And she said, well, you better get busy and buy an angel board and get to work. Okay, is that not God's will? Is that not a message that I was brought by a messenger, a saint on earth, to channel crime tips, to stop murders and torturing and molesting and trafficking? That's what it meant. I didn't know that's what it meant. It's Nancy Fox, you put on earth to do goodwill and save the human race. That is what we spelled on her angel board, what the guides channeled. And God and Jesus Christ spelled that to let me know to do the work, to save the human race. So after I bought a house with laden oak trees and church bells chiming, that I walked in and instantly felt more psychic, advanced my psychic profitability the minute I stepped in the doorway, is a fact. And I bought a house, the spiritual ambiance, which is what I'd been looking for 4 years, and bought an angel board, landed in the driveway, UPS, and I put it on the formal dining room table, took it out of the box. In the daytime, first thing I channel spelled, that's where you put your hands in a plastic device and it slowly spells a word, a sentence, a paragraph, and anyway, it just moves itself. Spelled, this is God. Okay, that's a fact. Of course, I said nobody in AA is going to believe me, that I have a direct line of communication with God. It's always a running joke in AA meetings. And so, yeah, I called God, or God said this and that. And so I thought, well, no one's going to believe me. And my older daughter did believe me. I told her, because I don't lie. I'm very honest. So if I said I spelled this as God on my angel board, then that's God spelling it. I didn't spell it. I'm an honest person. I don't play games or BS people. And so that's what is spelled. Every night I got the angel board out of the box at 10 p.m. when my kids went to sleep, and I channeled away for 2 hours a night or 4 hours even. I channeled God and my dad mostly. I channeled passed on movie business people who I worked with in this life who died, passed on relatives, and channeling away in a medium trance at our house. And that's what I did. And here I was advancing my psychic ability. And I didn't know it'd be to report to stop sex slavery internationally. I had no idea. I didn't know what saving the human race meant. Could have meant getting rid of plastic and smog, and could have meant any of that. And I did not know what it meant at all when I started doing the work. And then I got the tips spelled out slowly by God and Jesus, the word voyeurism. In follow 7, that means a peeping Tom. Voyeurism. A voyeurist. And my readings, well, later elaborated on that to say they run human trafficking, kiddie porn, snuff movies, dead child trafficking, FGM, molesting, clitoral cutting, and you name it. They run it by spy cameras. By many on spy cameras who pretend they're investigating when they are human trafficking. And their whole gamut is to frame the victims thereafter to the authorities. And that's what they spend their time doing. Copying, pasting, looping, bugging, photoshopping photos from Facebook, editing spy camera footage, and they spend all their time framing the people they want to traffic and lie to authorities they're investigators and tell authorities, no need to check what we sent you in a report because we've investigated everything thoroughly. No, they framed everybody they're trying to murder and traffic and molest and put in a cage for kiddie porn movies. And that's their whole trick. And that's what I wrote in '09 by Richard Nixon and God. Investigators, fake investigators, are human traffickers who pretend they're investigating. They rob the people. They frame them. They lie they're covering. They lie they're secret court monitors. No, they're human traffic murderers who do medical kidnaps. They say they rob people blind, frame them, set them up to stress them out, and they do that to show up to force shots in them to do medical kidnaps, to human traffic them. And they do it all on purpose. Sit around trying to make everyone on the list upset by lying about them, by stealing from them, and on and on. They commit all these gang stalker crimes against the targeted individuals to make them upset to do a medical kidnap. And that's what my readings say. And it's a long system. It should be pretty easy to stop once they figure out who is running it. And that's a 6'8" man who's a kiddie porn director who readings say he says he does in-home investigations on families to see if mothers are fit to be a parent. Well, no, he frames people to human traffic the family members. And that same tip for many years, unfortunately. So authorities think, oh, he's the investigator to see who's fit to be a mom. He's running the CPS secret court. Oh, he's got all these nice women in nurse uniforms running around covering to help people. And they think that? No. They're sitting there drooling, waiting to molest a baby and child's vagina to get shot up with meth and heroin. They're not covering to help anybody. They're covering to kill everybody on the list because they're hit women in medical costumes who do medical kidnaps. So the basics of this are they search divorce records to see which mothers filed for divorce. Then they lie. They have to do an investigation on the mother to see if there's community property. Then they take half her home equity and she sells the family home and lie they place it on hold when they steal it. Then they say they take 10% of the mother's earnings every time she deposits money she made, and they say they're using that to investigate a mother. Then they bug the driveway, put spy cams on the porch, spy cams on 2 doorways in the house, spy cams on the garage door, car hood, and a spy cam in the mailbox to steal their mail and money and jobs. And UPS FedExes off the porches by 3 spy cams and a bugging box. They loop. And they pretend they're doing an in-home investigation, and no, they are not. They are robbing an attractive, targeted, divorced mother blind to set her up, to capture her and all her kids to human trafficking, to kiddie porn snuff movies, to put them in a cage and molest them, and he directs the kiddie porn movies. He is doing this to get his cast members for his black market kiddie porn, sex, torture, snuff movies, and to human traffic children 10 and over, and teenagers and young adults. They lie are minors and mothers. He is not investigating. It's all a big game and a scam and BS. There is no reason to investigate any of the parents on the list. And reading say he lies, he investigates to see who's fit to be a parent? No, he is pretending to investigate, framing good parents. And that's a fact. And that's what I wanted to explain so people will understand how severe this is. And so they find people to target by searching divorce records at 5 courts in LA County area. They search birth records and marriage records to find unwed mothers and parents to target. And that's who they target, when they are the ones who should be supported. Single divorced mothers, unwed mothers, those are the ones people should be so supportive of. Those are the ones they rob blind, frame, slander, and lie they have to do an investigation on. Well, no, they do not. It's all a game to rape and kill. And so they start with that, then they do a fraud report and lie. The mother can't handle her finances, so they got to set her up and get control of them secretly to manage the family money. Well, no, they manage their money just fine. So they rob their money from their savings. They rob their equity if they sell a house. They rob equity if they refinance their property. And they rob people. Then they have 20 women they call gals on patrol that are really real estate women, business lady type gang stalkers. So they stalk and steal mail and money and jobs out of the targeted family's mailbox. And so do kids. Readings say they get kids in this 9 years old and up, and they send them texts to go steal mail and money and jobs out of mailbox on posts. They put spy cameras in, and they say they're paid to be top secret agents. And they'll get a text, hey, you guys, go get this money and mail out of this mailbox at this address. And they run and get it, and then they're sent stolen PayPal. The hackers rob, and they think they got a top secretest important agent job when they're 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So they get children and minors into this, stealing mail and money, gang stalking to get free gifts and pay. And that's stolen property and stolen money that they're given to steal people's mail and money out of their mailbox. So they get them in it, then they pay them to lie about nice parents to set them up. And so they're paid free gifts and pay, stolen property and money to repeat lies. So they brainwash all the areas by children and youths. And then later they turn them into child molesters. They give them peppermint schnapps, alcohol, free new Nordstrom's clothes FedEx to their doorstep, and they shoot them up with a meth heroin shot and lie it's a vitamin E shot. So they turn them into junkie drug addicts, alcoholics at 9, 10, 11 years old. Then they get them to molest babies in the baby kiddie porn movies. That they do when they're 10. 10-year-olds, they tell them to take their clothes off and molest a baby. And so that's what they do, and they get them addicted to being molested at 10. And then, a few years later, they're doing genital eating snuff movies and putting kids in cages and packing them on dry ice for dead child traffic. Think nothing of it, because they're told they're getting rid of bad people. They're told they're doing a Save Life on Earth important mission to take people away that are named on the lists. And they read the fraud profile, and they are brainwashed when they're the very bad people. They are criminals and criminally insane. They are murdering with their sex drive on meth. They are murdering to get peppermint schnapps alcohol shots. And they are told at 9, 10, 11, and as teenagers, they are told they're doing a Save Life on Earth mission. And that's to remove people from areas that they name bad people. Well, no, they are very good people, and these pedophile kids, junkies, they are the bad people. So It's a cult. It's a real cult. Is they think they're saving life on Earth by killing people. Okay, it's like Jonestown, USA. They all decided to commit suicide and thought they'd go live happily in heaven and all did it together. Okay, they are a cult who think they are saving life on Earth by murdering babies with their molester mouth. It is hard to comprehend, but the tips explain it every day. The cult is composed of 9-year-old kids lying at parks and malls about nice parents. And they sit around drooling, watching kids go down the slide, looking at their underwear. And they sit there saying they want to set the mom up so damn bad and tie out the kids and the mom off and throw them in a van, haul them off to their city hall, computer technician, local work apartment building to chow down, piled on them in a naked, methed out, drunken, horny pack. They sit in cars in nurse uniforms. They do medical kidnapping. Piled in a car is a 10-year-old, 15-year-old, 22-year-old, 30-year-old, 35-year-old, and older women. And some are these child molester young women's mothers. So 9 could be in a vehicle, a brand new vehicle, and they sit around in nurse outfits, no underwear or pubic hair, doing nurse porno movies and kiddie porn movies in their hacker squad vehicle that they get shot up with meth and heroin for. That's what they do in between kiddie porn and snuff movies and human trafficking. And that's the wicked system. They get 9-year-olds in it, 10, 11, as said, teenagers, and anyway, brainwash them and turn them into sex addict, molesters, and murderers. And we just say they're cannibalists addicted to chewing human flesh. And that's very sick. It is so sick, nobody could comprehend it or believe it's really happening. As readings say, they look all American. They have every color of a nurse uniform. And people think they're helping when they're killing right under everybody's noses. Because a child molester will say and do anything to get a child because of their pedophilia addiction. And that's all they think of with a one-track mind. And we just say they sit in their cars saying they have horny crotches. And they sit having sex together all night and day in their nurse outfits doing the nurse porno series for the 6'8" director that they get the movie cast for by framing papers on clipboards. And it starts out with court record, who to target, 20 gals on patrol stalking, stealing mail and money. They steal clothes from the houses by lying to locksmiths. They get keys. They lie there investigating? No. They are framing nice parents. They are putting stolen clothes they stole by breaking and entering together wrong to frame the mothers to look like they dress like a sexy mom. When they don't wear the outfits they display on a mannequin. They are fake to frame nice parents. And many in the cult, they say they're to set moms up to take kids away to get them adopted and to say the mom dresses too sexy to be a mother when they don't. And they call it a sexy mom frame-up formula. And many doing it are conservative religious housewives in the suburbs who hate moms who look sexy at all. And they would hate them even in a stylish designer outfit. And they'd say it's too funky and cool to see them as a nice mom, because they think they should wear a blouse and soft pleated pants from the Gap with a cuff and flat shoes. and a cardigan that's long like they wear. It's boring and conservative. So they hate mothers who have sex appeal, who are charismatic, stylish, and who are artsy and put outfits together. They hate them, and they think they shouldn't be a mom if they look sexy to them. If the gals on patrol steal a strapless bra or camisole from their drawer when they break and enter, they think, oh my God, a strapless bra, a camisole. Oh, that's not a nice mom. She's too sexy to have custody. We'll set her up and adopt her babies out. They take them to murder them when they're very nice moms. And many women think a strapless bra is a must-have. Then your bra straps don't show. If you wore a strapless evening gown or a cotton sundress, even with a sweater. Okay, strapless bras are so you don't look tacky. It is so your bra straps aren't hanging out. And many people have different colored bras, so their bras are the same color as their clothes, so they don't look tacky. Okay? They think if a woman owns a black bra, she's too sexy to be a mom and set her up. So they're very conservative gang stalker women framing the nicest parents on earth with their hatred because they're stylish, attractive moms with a good body, and they hate them if they show an ounce of their cleavage or wear a scoop neck tight top under a sweater, if they wear jeans below the waist and bell bottoms and you name it. Readings say these conservative gang stalker housewives around the county line in the suburbs frame the nicest moms on earth with their hatred because they don't think a mom should look stylish and attractive or spend a dime on themselves for health food or clothes or anything of the kind. When many mothers are into me time, being nice to themselves, loving themselves, taking a break, and getting a cappuccino or sitting and drinking an iced tea and relaxing with music a few minutes and to unwind, they hate these moms who do these things on purpose. There are many books called Me Time that say mothers need me time for themselves. And I read that in a parenting book before I had my children. I read it that parents should take a break for themselves every day. And many parents do this on purpose to be better parents. To not be stressed when they pick their kids up at school after work. They try to take a short break to unwind or do something nice for themselves so they don't feel deprived and stressed out. And just take a break, sit by a lake or whatever it is. They do things to de-stress, to be good parents. They hate them and don't get it. They don't get these are tools for living. They do on purpose, like affirmations, meditation, and eating something they love, and being nice to themselves. They don't understand. The ones who frame the nicest moms on earth. So there's 20 gals on patrol, stalking every targeted house, and stealing mail and money, breaking and stealing clothes, taking photos of the clothes, framing outfits they put together to frame the mother, to lie she wore outfits she didn't wear, to lie she dressed too sexy to be a mom when she wouldn't have worn a tube top with jeans and evening shoes outside or jean shorts. She wore a tube top under a dress so it's not see-through. She wore the evening shoes with an evening dress New Year's Eve. So she wore jean shorts to the beach with a bathing suit with her kids. They put outfits together to make it look like the moms dressed too sexy and lie they dressed too sexy to be a parent. And that's what the gals on patrol, gang stalker women do. They also steal their mail at the post offices at 9 a.m. from a lot of parents and steal their money out of it, deposit in a secret account, lie they got to set the mom up to get a hold of finances secretly. That's to rob the families blind, to whisk them away without a trace is why. Other gang stalkers, housewives, they sit in market and shopping mall parking lots, logging receipts and framing parents with what they bought at the market and a mall. And they do that at the mall parking lots with the medical kidnapper molesters in their nurse outfits. See, there's groups of molesters, sex addicts, rapists, lesbians. Among the others don't know they molest, murder, traffic 10-year-olds and put babies and toddlers and kids in cages for kiddie porn movies they molest them in by a call sheet they read. So many doing this, taking people, framing nice parents to the secret court, do not know what happens to the people. They don't know that they're not adopted. And that is mean enough to frame a nice blood parent to adopt their babies and children and teenagers out because they don't like the way they dress or act or what they buy to eat or what clothes they buy themselves. That is not a reason to take custody from a nice parent. Clothes are harmless. Groceries are harmless. Nothing is child endangering. And they frame them to adopt the kids out, they think. But really, they are placed in a cage and molested in a kiddie porn movie. And that is a wicked system they are running. So there's the 20 gals on patrol. There's about 99 lying children and teens. And there is the market gang stalker framers, the mall parking lot framers with the medical kidnapper vans, the molesters in nurse outfits. They have 100 nurse outfits, different colors. They do medical kidnaps to get babies and kids to molest them. And so I'm hoping this helps. They buy Great Dane dog kennels and cages. They are molesting and murdering babies and children in their city hall, computer technician, local work, apartment buildings. Now, I started doing this video to explain that I'm nice and honest so people will believe my tips. And I pray that they do, because I would not spend the past 17 years doing this work day in and day out if I did not know they're accurate. I use my medium ability to its fullest to stop these crimes. And they are the devil in disguise. And that's how they do it. They have a secret court they frame parents to. And that is rooms by bank parking lots, or by banks and parking lots, bank parking lots. And that's where they go in packs to frame nice parents. And that's a tip. And they steal money and have it in 9 banks around County line, as they're the devil number 9. 99 kids start in it, 99 line parks and malls about nice parents, 99 housewives stock in market parking lots to frame parents, and then probably 99 stock in a shopping mall with the molesters in nurse outfits who do medical kidnaps to murder the people on the lists. And so it's a very wicked system. Reading says there are 5,000 gang stalkers doing this on spy cam hacking, bugging equipment. And their whole game is to frame people, slander them, steal from them, frame them with clothes they steal, and the gals on patrol write down pretend whereabouts and describe their outfits wrong. And my readings say they're doing this to a lot of mothers they hate. They hate them if they look what they call a wee bit sex-a-lot. They hate them if they filed for divorce. They hate them if they are unwed and pregnant, unwed with children. They hate unwed couples, even if they're engaged and not married because of COVID. So they don't know they are murdered, but they are mean enough just to frame a nice blood parent to whisk away their babies and children at a park by a pack of pedophiles in nurse outfits who say they hurl them into a van speeding past, tie them off, shoot them all up with a speedball and Ajax, take them to their apartment building for their kiddie porn movie cast. They're getting the cast that is on the call sheet. That is called, they are wrangling up the cast. That is what they are doing. And that is why I'm showing this of the cage. They molest them in the movies, call it soft kiddie porn. The nurses in the nurse outfits, they take them off in the movie scene and all tie the kids down with a white plastic shipping strap from the Greyhound bus, bungee cords from Big Five around their ankle, dog muzzle over their mouth, and a line. Then they pile on them and molest them until they are dead. And some of them who are cute are named to put in a cage for kiddie porn movies. They say they place them in the dog cages and kennels. They are placed under houses they bought around Gilson's markets, Ralph's markets, and they call it kiddie porn land. And many kids and babies are in cages under houses they bought.